All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming to hear our comments regarding the latest information relative to the City of Phoenix relationship with the FAA as it relates to the departure procedures outside Sky Harbor Airport. Standing with me today are Council members Michael Nowakowski, Councilwoman Laura Pastor. I asked both of them to be here with me because the districts that they represent are disproportionately affected by the flight path changes that the FAA implemented late last year. So I want to thank them for being there. They'll have a few comments in just a moment. I also want to thank our former Congress member, Ed Pastor, who volunteered his time to serve on the FAA working group to try to examine some of these very important issues. His leadership, his advocacy on behalf of the people of the City of Phoenix is very much appreciated, as it always have been. As mayor of the city, I have tried, and Phoenix has tried, to work with the FAA in good faith. But thus far, it has been a one-way street. Our efforts to work together to reach a common sense solution to an unacceptable situation for the people of our community has not been returned. We as a city have offered solutions. Those have been repeatedly rejected. It is now apparent that the FAA does not have the intent, has zero intent, of solving serious noise issues that affect so many of our neighborhoods in Phoenix. The FAA has shown us that it believes that it is a federal agency, that it is not appropriately accountable to the people of this community. It has abused the process. It has undermined the trust that we have in the FAA's local officials. I have always said throughout this process that we would reserve litigation as a last resort option. I believe that we are nearing that last resort. So I believe that our professional city staff should take the steps necessary to prepare to sue the FAA as soon as May 1st. And I, as mayor, am prepared to use that option as necessary to support the people of the City of Phoenix. We are going to pursue other options as well. We will pursue the option of working with airlines that fly in and out of Sky Harbor Airport to work on possible voluntary solutions to this unacceptable dilemma for the people of the City of Phoenix. The City of Phoenix will, of course, unite with other cities that have been unfortunately impacted by this new next-gen procedure, so airports and cities around the country. I think Councilman Michael Nowakowski in particular will talk about our efforts to unite with other cities. Of course, we will work with the airlines and all of the relevant parties to force the FAA to do the right thing, and that includes working with our congressional delegation and, of course, the member of our delegation who represents the neighborhoods most disproportionately impacted is Congressman Ruben Gallego, who's been a champion on this issue. We will also submit Metroplex recommendations to achieve satisfactory change of current flight paths. Councilwoman Pastor will talk in more detail about that effort. And of course, we're going to enhance the noise program at Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport so that residents who are so unfortunately impacted, their quality of life so impacted in a negative way by these changes, have more resources within Sky Harbor Airport to receive those complaints and more effectively communicate them to the FAA, particularly let them know just how impactful this has been on the quality of life of Phoenix residents. Tomorrow we will have a special meeting of the City Council at 2:30 p.m. in the City Council chambers so we can hear more from the public. We can get more community input. It is unfortunate that these changes were made, had such a negative impact on the people of the City of Phoenix in a way in which significant public input was not received by the FAA due to the categorical exclusion process. That was unfortunate. They would have heard from the community, as we have heard from the community, and will continue to hear from the community, that the impact on their quality of life is simply unacceptable. With that, I'm going to hand it next over to Councilwoman Laura Pastor. She represents District 4, which represents many of the neighborhoods that have been so disproportionately impacted by these flight path changes. Councilwoman.
I'm just really disappointed in the outcome. I had great hope that with this working group, we would get to a solution. Obviously, it's not a solution. I'm very disappointed in how it was written and the fact that it is stating that Phoenix never gave any alternative routes when that is true. They just chose not to listen and not to look at them. What I have to tell you is in our community, I'm here standing strong with our community because the quality of life has diminished and the noise is definitely there. And I will continue to proceed to push forward into coming to a solution for our communities. One of the ways I'm looking at that, which is critical, is the Metroplex. Metroplex is now coming into play. We are going to need the public to come out and be involved. It's a mandatory in the Metroplex, so this is where I believe the community can have a stronger voice, and all Arizona airports will be involved in this process. So it's better for us to have greater in numbers, and so that's where I will definitely be involved in the Metroplex piece or part of the some of the voluntary procedures or some of the processes. We are nearing, as we are going to baby steps, we are nearing, and if that's our last solution to go to litigation, I will be standing strong with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman, for being such a strong leader on this issue and a passionate advocate on behalf of the residents in your district, particularly those impacted by these flight path changes. Now, next to the podium will be Councilman Michael Nowakowski. He's been a leader from day one, literally day one, as these flight path changes were implemented without an appropriate public process. So I want him to come and talk about his feelings, his position on this very unfortunate set of circumstances. Councilman.
Thank you, Mayor. On September 18th, our lives changed in the city of Phoenix. It doesn't matter if you live in downtown Phoenix, in our historic area, South Phoenix, Levine, North Phoenix, everyone in our city was affected by this. So we did it the Phoenix way. We went out to the community. We had meetings. We listened. And the more I listened, the more I got sick and tired of this whole process. The FAA came into our city, changed the path, and never had a meeting with anyone. Never met with the community. That's not the Phoenix way. So we took a step back and said, well, what do you all suggest? Well, we're going to create this working committee. So we chose an individual that represents not only South Phoenix, Levine, downtown, but a person that also represents our historic area, Congressman Ed Pastor. And yesterday, about 4:35, I received a letter from Glenn Martin. And he questioned, and this is where I get pissed off and mad, he questions the integrity of the city of Phoenix and our Congressman, Ed Pastor. He gave, and our staff has given them, several alternatives. And to put down in writing that we never gave them any type of alternatives is a lie. It's wrong. And don't question the integrity of the city of Phoenix or the integrity of our congressman. And now more than ever, it's time for us to come together as a city, to come together as other cities in the state of Arizona, other states that are being affected by the FAA, and say enough is enough. We all need to unite ourselves together and create a coalition of cities that are being affected throughout the country and say enough is enough with the FAA. So I want to thank the mayor for holding this meeting tomorrow at 2:30. Folks, this will probably be the meeting that you all need to be at, because tomorrow we need to make some decisions. We need to make a decision as a city of Phoenix. What are we going to do? And are we going to allow the FAA to step on us? No. I believe with the leadership of our mayor and my colleagues that we're going to make the right decision tomorrow, but we need your input. So make sure you're there tomorrow at 2:30 in our formal meeting. So thank you, Mayor, for calling this special section, and I think tomorrow we're going to have some results.
All right. Well, with that, we'll take a couple questions. We actually have a formal meeting of the City Council today with a long agenda. But any questions that you may have, please.
The letter said you guys didn't offer suggestions. I know you said you did. Can you maybe go over what some of the suggestions you offered were and why they weren't accepted?
Yeah, well, that's going to come out tomorrow in the public meeting. But as Councilman said, it's important that false information that was provided in the letter from Mr. Martin be corrected as soon as possible. So in a very formal way, in a formal written letter, we'll be providing a full response to that information. Look, we're the advocates for this community. We want to work with the FAA in a very positive way to reach a resolution that allows them to accomplish their goals, but does so in a way that doesn't have such a negative impact on the lives of thousands and thousands of people in the city of Phoenix. We believe in good faith that there are resolutions to this dilemma. But if we believe that if you look at their analysis, they decide to make this public, this information. Their analysis of the proposed alternatives that they discussed, they reject many that would have been probably positive solutions for our community. We believe more work needs to be done. It's unfortunate that the FAA, have shut the door on some likely positive outcomes. So I really believe that their rejection of these plans demonstrates that there really isn't the intent to work in good faith towards a positive resolution. Other questions?
So when you look at the letter that they sent you guys and the alternatives that they support or that they prefer, the southwest and the northwest option, do you think it's not enough? They say that they made some tweaks to the altitudes and the rate of climb and the speeds and all that. And do you agree that was enough or was not enough?
Well, I think in fairness, the more significant solutions, the ones that would have much more likely led for these planes to not be over the heads of directly over the heads of thousands of people in some of our densest neighborhoods that this city, this community, these leaders behind me and the city as a whole have worked for literally years to bring back to life, if you will, and to make it some of the most popular neighborhoods in the entire city of Phoenix, both in the downtown area as well as in the Levine and South Phoenix area. I believe that they rejected the more reasonable solutions. Again, we're going to provide a full written response tomorrow, so you'll be seeing that letter. It'll be provided as part of this public meeting that we're talking about. So we'll have a thorough discussion of what exactly did occur in that working group. It was their choice to go public with this information, so it's fair that we have the opportunity in a written format to provide a response to the information they have put publicly. I don't know if any of the council members have a comment on that.
Can you
give a follow-up, please? Yeah.
A little follow-up to that is, with this working group, there were 2 representatives from the city.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you make sense of then the FAA saying in this letter that there was no involvement from the city?
Well, I think what they are...
And those alternatives were not presented.
Yes.
Is that just a blatant lie?
Yes. Well, I think both council members said it more emphatically than I, and used that exact word, I think, that you just used. Look, the real question is, are we working together in good faith, or are we not going to work together in good faith? For them to suggest that the leaders from Sky Harbor Airport and our congressman, arguably the most trusted man in the entire city of Phoenix, who on a voluntary basis agreed to participate in this process, for the FAA to suggest that they weren't active members of this group offering potential solutions, at least ideas. We can't just throw out a solution and that becomes the final solution. There's a lot of work that goes into studying these solutions. We believe that they rejected offhand, as you can see in the letter, the number of alternatives that they rejected. We believe that they rejected those way too quickly and didn't do thorough enough analysis, solutions that would have had much more significant relief for the people of our community. Again, I don't want to speak for either of the council members. How about one more, and then we got a formal meeting. We actually have to vote on city business, and we'll see obviously tomorrow at our 2:30 meeting. Please.
Have you heard anything about how the working group meeting went on Monday? What the tone of that was? Did this letter from Glenn Martin just come out of the blue, and the people from the airport or Chad, I guess, and the congressman said, "Oh, it went great. This is random."
The letter from Mr. Martin, I think, surprised all of us. It was disappointing, his characterization, particularly of the city's participation in the working group. We were asked to participate in that working group. This council thought long and hard about whether we should participate in the working group. Many were cynical about whether or not we really could work with as large a federal agency as the Federal Aviation Administration to come to a positive resolution. And I think the words you heard from both council members is exactly right. We were very disappointed that Mr. Martin decided to come forward with this and characterize it in inaccurate ways. Very surprising, very disappointing. And I think you're going to see tomorrow at this city council, I think you're going to see a very united city council behind the leadership of Councilwoman Pastor and Councilman Nowakowski.
From what you've heard, though, was the tone of this letter reflective of the tone of that meeting on Monday?
I can't speak to that. I wasn't inside the meeting, and the leaders from the city that participated certainly can characterize. I can only argue, or I can let you know how our position as a city. We operate in complete good faith to try to work with the FAA to come with a very positive resolution to this unacceptable dilemma, this unacceptable situation for the people of the city of Phoenix. And so that is the way we have operated from day one under these very difficult circumstances. So we'll let them mischaracterize it if they want. We're going to provide accurate information and continue acting in good faith resolution. But we stand resolute. And as you heard from myself, you heard individually from these council members, we stand ready to put all options on the table in order to resolve this. We are going to stand up for the people of Phoenix. And we do believe, whether it's through litigation or other means, that there is a positive resolution for the people of the city of Phoenix. We just need a willing partner on the other side. Thank you so much for covering this. We'll see you tomorrow at 2:30.